Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Pariyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Dayakaram Dayakaram Dantam Dharma Pravartakam Pranamami Dayanandam Madacharya Varam. Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shriyama Devaah Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangai Stuštubhagam Vyashema Devahitai Yadayuh Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah Swasti nः Pusha Vishwavedaah Swasti nastarkshyo Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brihaspatir Dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I think one line was remaining from the Bhashya. Am I right? So we will look at that. Yani etani agnihotrādīni trayam vihitani karmani tani eshah panthaha avashyaphala prapti sadhanam ityarthaha. Nothing much here, just concluding the whole thing. And what is that? Etani, all these, yani etani, all these what? Which are going to be talked about, which are being talked about, which are in the process of being unfolded. What are they? Agnihotrādīni. Starting with Agnihotra karma, etc. And then Trayam vihitani. Not only are they Agnihotra karma, but they are enjoined by the Vedas, three Vedas, because the Atharva Veda doesn't have many rituals. The kinds of rituals it has, we don't want some of them. So it is not talked about that much. So in the three Vedas, all the rituals that are there, Trayam, in this group of three, all the rituals that are there, then not only they are there, what are they? They are also enjoined. Vihita karma. Vihita karma means to be done karma. And then tani, all of these are the tani karmani, all these karmas are what? Eshaha panthaha. Eshaha panthaha. This is the path. Panthaha means path. And then avashya phala prapti sadhanam. So if you want a foolproof way of getting karma phala, please do all this. This is what is there. And what is that? It is going to be said in the second mantra. And the second mantra is the tutorial. The Shruti gives a tutorial how to do Agnihotra. And in fact, when I first studied this, I thought, oh, I can do this. This seems so simple. But wait, not so fast and not so simple either. And we'll find out why. Let us first chant. यदा लेलायते ह्यर्चिः समिद्धे हव्यवाहने तदाज्यभागावन्तरेण आहुतिः प्रतिपादयेत्. So, yada, so it's a very simple construction. When and then. Yada, he, archihi, flame. Flame. Neuter, sakaranta, archis. Archihi, archishi, archimshi. Okay, so archihi, flame. When this flame, archihi, singular, lelayate. Lelayate means dances. Namadhatu. Namadhatu means certain nouns are taken, denominative dhatus. Some nouns are taken and made into verbs. Lela means dance, sway, to dance. And then to that we can add some, the verbal endings to say Lela iva acharati. Lela iva acharati, as though dances. It's not really dancing. Is the flame doing Bharatnatyam steps? No. But when you look, it appears to be dancing. Lela iva acharati. So, like for example, on a smoky day, Akashaha krishnayate. The sky as though turns black. The sky really doesn't turn black. The space really doesn't blacken, but it as though turns black. So like this, there are some dhatus. So here this is called nama dhatu. Yada, he, indeed, archihi, the flame, appears to dance. So when you dance, what are you like? You have lost yourself. I mean, you're not really thinking of the body and the hand going this side, the leg going this side. You have lost yourself, and there is a kind of a spontaneity. Here too, the fire has a certain spontaneity. It just, one part of the flame starts to dance, and very soon the whole fire joins, all the flames join. So in that sense, it is a kind, all the fires come out, all the tongues of the fire rather come out. So yada archihi lelayate. And then where lelayate, where is the flame dancing? Samidhe havyavahane. Indh is the dhatu, seventh conjugation, past passive. Samidhe, samyak, idham. Samidham, in a well-lighted fire. Well-lighted fire. In a fantastically well-lighted fire. And what is the word for fire? Havyavahane, havyavahana. Havyam vahati iti, that which carries the offerings. The Agni is a first devata that is invoked. Why? Because in the Vedic times there were no murtis. This was the first murta element, fire. You can't really worship air. Where do you go? And which way the wind is blowing, you don't know. And then you also don't know the murta. And then you don't know also space. But fire is the first murta element. So the fire is seen as the postal deity, courier service, first courier service, where the oblations to the various devatas, the fire without eating it himself carries. Bhagavan Agni carries to all other devatas, so therefore known as what? Havyavahana. Hutashana, another word is there. Hutashana, Jataveda. Like this, so many words are there. Jate jate vidyate, that which is first understood while one is born. The doctor delivering the baby will first touch the baby, if it's not already crying, to see if the temperature is there. That 98 point, what is the normal temperature? 98.6? 4. 98.4 is Agni in the body. Jate jate, vidyate iti. So this is Agni. Jatavedaha hutashana. Hutam ashnute, that which eats the offering. Eats the offering when you say Agnaye Swaha. But when you say Indraya Swaha, what does he do? Carries the offering. That time he is Havya Vahana. So, but otherwise, if you say Agnaye Swaha, then he says, Lord Fire says what? Aha, ye hamare liye hai, this is for me, and then partakes of it. So, like this, many words for fire we have, and then so Havya Vahane Samidhe Sati, Sati Saptami here, because that when then construction is here. So, Havya Vahane Samidhe Sati Yada hi archihi lelayate, when the flame starts to dance, tada, tada means what? At that time. At that time, what to do? Ajyabhagau antarena. Antarena means in the middle, avyaya, indeclinable. So, antarena, it's not third case, okay, even though it looks like third case, indeclinable, antarena, in the middle. Ajyabhagau antarena. Ajyabhagau would be dual then, because the indeclinable antarena will take the dual, second case. So, second case dual, but there is a slight change we have to do. Ajyabhagau is chandasam. We have to take it as, because we are talking of offer in the middle, correct? I will explain Ajyabhaga, but first we have to see in the middle. In the middle of two things, that is what? So, in the middle of two things should be in which case? Sixth case. Ajyabhagayoho. And then we cannot say antarena, because antarena is taken up by what? Second case. Ajyabhagayoho madhye. We have to understand it like that. So, in the middle of two Ajyabhagas. What is this Ajyabhaga? Ajyabhaga means there are very, very strict rules about which side of the fire to offer, which direction. Suppose you are facing east, then the Yajamana is facing east, the performer of the ritual. Then there is this side, north side, south side, like these two sides will be there. So, this constitute Ajyabhaga. Certain offerings have to be done only this side, and certain offerings have to be done only that side. But in the simplest of rituals, known as what? Agnihotra, the first one, the Shruti does not want to overwhelm you. The Shruti wants to make it very, very simple. Anybody can do it, come on. You don't have to figure out Ajyabhaga. No. And how many offerings are there? 2. Yes, it has to be done twice a day, but only 2 offerings. In the morning, Suryaya Swaha. Can everybody say that? Very simple mantra. Suryaya Swaha. And then second offering, Prajapataye Swaha. Everybody can say that. That is the morning mantra finished. Agnihotra done. And then evening mantra, Agnaye Swaha. That also everybody can say. Then the second one is common, Prajapataye Swaha. Done. Agnihotra is done. And then I think I can do this. This is not a problem. But then already it's a problem, and Adi Shankara will point this out, because the careful conditions under which the Agnihotra must be done is pointed out. How the flames should be dancing high above in order to receive the oblation, especially because the oblation is liquid, it is milk here. Other options are given, but mostly imagine giving 2 chamas, 2 ceremonial, what is that called, spoons of milk. Even if it's well lit, it may go off. It may start to become smoky. We have to be very, very careful. So, that care is talked about here, but at the same time it is presented as being deceptively easy. only 2 mantras, only 2 oblations, and then don't get all in a huff about whether to, don't get all in a tizzy, whether to offer on the left side of the fire, on the right side of the fire, offer where? Right in the middle, and that's called avapasthana. That place is called avapasthana. So, for Agnihotra, you have to have a condition. What is that condition? Get married. Without marriage, no Agnihotra. So then, and in fact, in the olden days, both husband and wife used to sit and do it. But then they realized, okay, it's getting late for office, so one person will do it and the other person will make the prasadam or things like that. Then the division of labor started. So, but before, both would sit and do it. And we find this even in the Ramayana, we find this. Sita doing Agnihotra by herself, and then we find also the demoness. What was her name? Tara, married to Vali and Sugriva, doing Agnihotra by herself every day. So, everybody should do this. Everybody who is married must be doing Agnihotra, because it connects us to all the other rituals and it connects us to the Vedic way of life. So Agnihotra must be done, and in this mantra a deceptively simple description is given, which is going to be then upended in the mantra number 3 that is to follow. So yada lelayate hyarchihi havyavahane samidhe tada आज्यभागौ अंतरेण आज्यभागयोः मध्ये आहुतिः plural. How many ahutis? Dual should be there. Why plural? Because it is nitya karma. So 2 agnihotras per day. How many ahutis? 4. That's why plural, and also it is being done every day. So all the ahutis taken together day after day, therefore plural. Ahutihi pratipadayet. Pratipadayet, prakshipet. Please place the ahutis, please offer the ahutis. And this much is the, so, and then the subject is not there, we have to infer yajamanaha, the person offering, may they do this. May the performer cause the pratipadayet, causal, may the performer cause the offering to be placed in the middle of a well-lit fire when the flame is high up. This itself is a huge thing. Flame to be high up, especially in rainy season, winter season. You can't cut the branches, you can't cut a single branch. What do you have to do? Gather the twigs. And the twigs will be what in the rainy season? Nice and wet and damp. And then you light that wet twig, even all the mantras in the world and all the invocations to Agni, first will produce what? Fire or smoke? Yes. Tears will come, punya will not come. And you keep fanning it in the hope of seeing at least one flame. What is happening? More tears are coming. You can have Sanskritam without tears. You cannot have Agnihotra without tears. You have to cry while doing Agnihotra, because the seasons are not the same. Suddenly it may rain, suddenly it's not raining, but it's a humid weather, damp, cold weather. And there also, what will the twigs produce? Smoke. And instead of karma phala, you get drishta phala in the form of tears. This is what happens. Immediate tears you get. And so the difficulty of lighting the fire should be seen right at the start, even though it's easy to say when the flames are dancing, please offer the oblations. Yeah, make the flames dance first. Yeah, you can't just put kerosene and say nobody is looking, let me just put some kerosene. No. And if it doesn't call for ghee, you cannot put ghee. You cannot put ghee. When it calls for ghee, you put ghee. Here what is it calling for? Mostly milk. Already milk. And here what? Smoky. In the smoke if you offer, nothing will happen. It is called as good as ahutam. In the next mantra it's going to be said as good as skipped the Agnihotra, not counted. or avidhina hutam, you have gone against whatever the vidhi was. The iti kartavyata, how to do this was not followed, so cancel swarga. Poor Yajamana, wanting to go to Swarga. Simple Agnihotra is done every day without fail, every morning, every evening, is supposed to be a ticket to Swarga Prapti. Go to heaven, sit there. For how long? Until you are born again to do the next Agnihotra. That's all. Okay. So, heaven is not eternal. Because anything outside of you, whether it's a place or an experience, cannot be eternal. Because you are delimiting that limitless. If something is limitless outside of you, you are delimiting it, it is delimiting you. So heaven cannot be outside of you. It can neither be a place, no, heaven can be outside of you. Heaven cannot be eternal as a place or as an experience. Obviously not. So you go there for what? Holiday. Holiday from what? Agnihotra. Exactly. Because you're tired, whole life you have done Agnihotra, you go there for a holiday. Selfie with Indra, selfie with Prajapati, selfie with all the devatas, that's all you do there. And you keep listening to music, etc. So then, this Ajya Bhaga is left side, right side. First, what we were told, it is not there for Agnihotra. You will not make a mistake, because left side you won't mistake for the right side, especially if it's a dyslexic Yajamana. Because you know, yoga teachers have this problem. So the yoga teacher says, you know, put the left hand out. And what does the other person do? Put the right hand out. Then you have to say, no, 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 the other left. What is left now you put out, right? Right. You know, so this way, first of all, left and right, then one is again confused. Left and right from where I am sitting, or left and right from that standpoint. From the standpoint of the onlooker, left and right, or my left and right, all these things are there. This Ajya Bhaga first is negated for Agnihotra. And then it is introduced, alas. Why? Because this Agnihotra is connected to a few other rituals called new moon ritual, Darsha. Why it's called Darsha, I don't know. It should be Adarsha, but anyhow, Darsha. Darsha means new moon ritual. And then what else is there? Paurnamasa. Full moon ritual is also there, and for that Ajya Bhaga is there. Left hand side you have to offer for one, for the other right hand side you have to offer. Mantras are also different. Do you see how deceptive this Agnihotra is? How first it's only 2 oblations, only 2 mantras, okay, done twice a day, but still manageable. And then what? Well lit dancing fire. Where are you going to get? And then secondly, that's the first thing. Secondly, what else? You have to have all these other connected rituals, which become as though like an adjectival to Agnihotra. So they complete the Agnihotra in a sense, and so therefore the Ajya Bhaga, which I didn't have to think about, I have to think about at least twice a month. I have to think about Ajya Bhaga. Every 15 days, what is this Ajya Bhaga? I have to think about. And so therefore, it's not so simple. Bhashya. Tatra Agnihotrameva Tavat Prathamam Pradarshanartham Uchyate Sarvakarmanam Prathamyat. Pradhanyat also, okay. So, tatra means kutra nirdharane saptami. So what is it trying to ascertain? So tatra means this with regard to the subject matter of aparavidya. Tatra aparavidya vishaye. Aparavidya karmasu madhye. Aparavidya vishaye. Aparavidya vaidika karmasu madhye. So tatra means what? In the subject with reference to the subject matter of aparavidya, which is what? Various karmas. So in that tatra agnihotrameva tavat prathamam. Tavat prathamam means now the first one. Tavat prathamam, now the first one. What is that? Pradarshanartham uchyate. In order to demonstrate the Agnihotra, in fact, not just to demonstrate the Agnihotra, to demonstrate the limitations of this Agnihotra, we have to add. In order to demonstrate how the Agnihotra is done and thereby come to its limitations, where? In the next verse. So, in the succeeding verses, in the next and the other verses, the Agnihotra, Agnihotrameva. Agnihotrameva, eva means only the Agnihotra is now being presented. Why? Prathamam means first being presented. So, pradarshanartham means to show how it is done as a little tutorial. Why? Sarva karmanam pradhanyat, because it is the first among all the rituals. So that is where we begin. We don't begin with Ashwamedha. And because it is very complex. So you begin with something that is done right in the beginning. The fledgling Vaidika is taught first Agnihotra, inherits the Agnihotra from the parents along with the fire. That fire is the Shrauta fire. That fire is inherited from the parents after marriage, and then it is divided into three. Ahavaniya, Dakshinagni, Garhapatyagni, like this. And this is done in the Ahavaniya fire. Ahavaniya, many Shrauta karmas are done. Garhapatya, many samskara related things are done. Dakshinagni is reserved for Shraddha karma, etc. So, like this, some kind of some general categories are there for these various karmas. So, teshu karmasu madhye, among these huge innumerable fires that are kept, innumerable rituals that are done, then one ritual to show, pradarshanartham, to demonstrate. This is like a show and tell. You bring, children bring something to school. This is the photo of my family. It's show and tell. So why Agnihotra karma is chosen? Because it's the first karma started by the Grihastha immediately after marriage. So then, next one. Tat katham. How is it shown? That is what is asking. Then, yada eva indhanaihi abhyahitaihi samyag iddhe samidhe havyavahane lelayate chalati archihi tada. Let's stop here only. Archihi, we'll stop and then see the rest. Okay. Yada, when. Yada eva, only when. Why? Indhanaihi. Indhanam means fuel. By the fuel, abhyahitaihi, nicely lit up. Abhyahitaihi, that means what? That is the definition for samyagidhe, samidhe. Samidhe means the indhanaihi abhyahitaihi, nicely lit up. Samyagidhe havyavahane. Havyavahane he does not explain, he expects us to understand. So in this well-lit fire, lelayate, we have seen dances, and Adi Shankara is not given to so much poetry. He brings us down by saying chalati, moves. Chalati here is what? Chalati means moves. Simple, what is that? Third person singular, present tense, chalati. What chalati? Archihi chalati. So when the fire is well lit and the flame appears to be moving as though it is dancing. tada tasmin kale lelayamane chalati archishi ajyabhagau ajyabhagayoho antarena madhye avapasthane ahutihi प्रतिपादयेत् प्रक्षिपेद प्रक्षिपेत् देवताम् उद्दिश्य. So now tada means tasmin kale, at that time. At which time? Lelayamane chalati archishi. Okay, here chalati is not what is that? Not present tense. It's not present tense, it is saptami. It is seventh case of moving, in the moving. Seventh case of present participle, chalat. Chalati archishi, in the moving flames. It is qualifying archis here, in the moving flames. Do you see? One is a verb, one is a present participle, meaning in the moving flames. So in the second chalati means in the moving. What? Flames. And the first is chalati, lelayamane, lelayate is translated as chalati. Here the next one, chalati, has a slightly different meaning. What is that? It is in the moving, continuous, present continuous, in the moving flames. And then we already saw this, ajya bhagau. Ajya bhagau has to be, is chandasam, because in the middle of two bhagas, off means what? In the middle of. In the middle of means sixth case. Ajya bhagayoho, like ramayoho. So two, in the middle of two. Antarena. Antarena is converted to what by Adi Shankara? Madhye. Very good. And what is that? Avapasthane. That is called Avapasthana. A place where the ahuti pratipadayet, prakshipet. May one place, pratipadayet, he converts into non-causal, prakshipet. May one put, may one place. Devatam uddishya, keeping in mind the various devatas. The various devatas. Who are the devatas? Surya, Agni, Prajapati, keeping them in mind, all of them. So when the fire is set ablaze, and then in that moving flame, in that blazing, dancing flame, may one offer the oblations for the sake of Agni, Indra, etc. So, Ajya Bhagau, what should it be? Ajya Bhagayoho. So, in the middle of the two places, which is called, the center place is called Avapasthana. Avapasthana. Now, as I told you, this is only for simple Agnihotra. In Darsha and Paurnamasa, the oblations are in the right side on the Darsha and left side on the Paurnamasa. Who will remember? No one. Okay. And if you don't remember, what will happen? All the goodies promised to you by the Agnihotra will not come. So this is the thing. So already now, see, we have twice daily offerings, correct? And to that now is tacked on what? Every 15-day ritual has been tacked on now to this, correct? Yeah, so now this is a problem, because now we see how it is to be done. And then on the days where the fire is smoky, even if you quickly offer, you see one small flame and you offer, and poor Havyavahana dies away, then it is the punya, the good karma of this will not accrue. So now instead of daily 2 offerings, now in addition to that, what has been tacked on? New moon offerings, new moon special yajna, and then full moon additional special yajna. All right. So This is what this is the problem. And then what else? And then so the Agni, this is very important that the Agni be dancing, because Agnim Dutam Vrinimahe. Agni is seen as the Duta. Duta means what? Postmaster. Post, the courier service. And gives to all the other devatas, carries the havis. So Agnim Dutam Vrinimahe. Then, so therefore, Agni has to be very well tended. Every Vaidika must be a pyromaniac, meaning must love the fire. Must love the fire and want to keep on stoking the fire. They should be experts at when the smoke comes, what to quickly do. You can't just put things there in order for the fire to come out. There are certain tricks. Underneath you go and then you blow. You don't blow from the top. Then whatever is little bit is there will also go off. Underneath you have these bellows are there, and then you put the bellows, and then underneath you go. And then you disturb it with a pair of tongs, you disturb it a little bit, you change the configuration. All this the Vaidika must know. The Vaidika must be a fire expert. Expert not in doing upashama of the fire, but in bringing out the fire. So the fireman and all the fire people, what they only know how to extinguish the fire. No. The Vaidika is the opposite. The Vaidika is the quintessential fire kindler. And then imagine sitting in the heat like this outside when in the morning or the evening and doing Agnihotra. What will happen? Yeah, you can only see what will happen. All right, yeah, even without the fire ritual, we are baking. And then so with the fire ritual, what will happen, you only can understand. And so therefore we have to, so pratipadaye devatam uddishya. So you have to remember the devata at the time of saying swaha, agnaye swaha. Remember Agni devoutedly. And if you forget to remember, what will happen? Nothing will happen. That is the idea. No swarga will come. Okay. Anekaha prayoga apekshaya ahutihi iti bahuvachanam. Yeah, aneka ahaha. So keeping in mind, ahan means day. Aneka ahaha, many days. Keeping in mind many days, meaning this is not something that is done one time, correct? So that you can have the word ahuti in dual. The ahuti word is in plural. Why? Because many days. Aneka ahaha. So, aneka ahaha prayoga apekshaya. Apekshaya means keeping that in mind. Keeping that in mind. So, keeping the plural ahutis in mind. The word ahuti is not dual, but what? Bahuvachanam. Bahuvachanam. So, therefore, anekeshu ahassu. Anekeshu ahassu anushtanani tadapekshaya. So in many days, over the course of many days. So one Agnihotra, you know how it is counted? You do in the evening one Agnihotra, 2 offerings, and then you do the next morning, that is called one Agnihotra. Not morning and evening, evening and morning. Why is it evening and morning? Trick of the Veda to make you get up. Udite juhoti. When should this be done? As the sun rising, it should be done. Or anudite juhoti, before the sun rises, it should be done. So keeping in mind all this, it is called anek, it is spread over many days. And same thing with Darsha and Paurnamasa also. Darsha is not done on new moon day, it is done on Prathama, on the next day it is done. And then Paurnamasa is also done on Prathama. The offerings are done on Prathama. So it is spread over 2 days, therefore it is plural. Okay, and then now comes the tightening. First we get a simple tutorial, And then we come to understand that this tutorial is not so simple, because there are many, a kind of a dumbfounding amount of rituals. You've seen these rituals, you've never heard of, and then you understanding these rituals, one is just dumbfounded, one is speechless. How did those people in the way, those ancient Vedikas, how did they live? When did they watch movies? No time at all. This is itself a movie, and there was no time for anything else. You can see this, how disciplined the life was. It is just boggles the mind. So then this makes a segue to mantra number 3, which talks about the Agnihotra details of the Agnihotra rituals, and all the other rituals connected to the Agnihotra rituals are going to be discussed. Yasya Agnihotram Adarshama Paurnamasam Achaturmasyam Anagrayanam Atithi Varjitancha Ahutam Avaishvadevam Avidhinahutam Asaptamanstasya Lokan Hinasti. Can we try it together, like the whole line? Yeah, I will chant, you repeat. Yasya Agnihotram Adarshama Paurnamasam Achaturmasyam Anagrayanam Atithi Varjitancha Ahutam Avaishvadevam Avidhinahutam Asaptamanstasya Lokan Hinasti. Yasya mean Yajamanasya. Yasya Yajamanasya, for whom, for which performer, or whose what? Agnihotram. For whose Agnihotra is what? Adarsham. Darshaha na vidyate yasya. Nanj bahubrihi. Darshaha na vidyate yasya adarsham. Not accompanied by darsha. Apaurnamasam. Apaurnamasam is what? This Paurnamasaha na vidyate yasya. Again, Nanj bahuvrihi. So for which there is no, for which what? Not Yajamana, Agnihotra. These are all qualifying Agnihotra. So Yasya means the Yasya is Yajamanasya. The Yajamana whose Agnihotra is without darsha. Darshaha na vidyate yasya agnihotrasya. Paurnamasaha na vidyate yasya agnihotrasya. So for the Agnihotra is without Paurnamasa. Paurnamasa, again we saw full moon ritual. And then Achaturmasyam. Chaturmasya, same thing. Na vidyate yasya. Chaturmasya is not the rituals followed by sannyasis of staying in one place for 2 months during the rainy season. This is a different kind of Chaturmasya altogether. It is a ritual done every 4th month. Okay, so now what did we have? We had every day, twice. Then we had every 15 day, correct? And now every 4 months. So there are every 4 months there are invocations. Every 4 months there are invocations to various devatas. Huge festivals are there, and then they have all these names also. Varuna Praghasa, feeding water deities. Varuna Praghasa, and then Shunasira or Sunasira, a festival for Indra. Each one is at least 2 days, maybe 3 or 4 also. Okay, Shunasira or Sunasira, Varuna Praghasa, Shaka Medhinah. Shaka Medhinah means there is some kind of a big festival involving various kinds of grains and barley, etc. And then you make porridge and offer to all the devatas. You make porridge with your own cow's milk. The Yajamana's cow's milk has to be boiled and made into this porridge and then offered to various devatas. And then what else? The last one, the fourth one is Vaishvadeva. Vaishvadeva is part of Chaturmasya, and Avaishvadevam again it will be said. So that is also what? Separately also it has to be done. So the Chaturmasya Vaishvadeva has some devatas in common with the Vaishvadevatas, but then has some separate devatas also to be invoked. Each of them requires a lot of preparations. And then this Shakha Medha, you bring in one bull also, and then you have to wait until it trumpets. How to make the bull trumpet? Is it going to listen to you? Come on, make a sound. Say moo. Is it going to say moo? Not at all. So you have to wait until it trumpets. And then the bull is given away, bullock is given away in dhanam. It is offered to somebody and led away. So not only is it ayasa in terms of time, energy and effort, the whole families, the whole communities have to be involved, and then it is also even more effort because money is involved, bull etc. has to be given away, and then brahmanas have to be fed. All of these involve annadanam, all dana. See, the whole, even the simplest of not Ashwamedha, what are we talking about? Agnihotra ritual means giving. And this is who? A fledgling grihastha who is just about making money, just got a job, just got married, perhaps doesn't even have, is not even Jataputra, doesn't even have a child yet. Still, he is made to give. Because when you give, you grow. You grow out of the karma kanda as soon as you give, because then you say, I can't give anymore. I cannot afford to do this. Or when you give, vairagya comes. You don't want it anymore. Once you start giving, vairagya comes. So the whole Vaidika ritual, even the simplest ritual, now it's not so simple after all, as we are going to find out. So the achaturmasya means somebody who did not do this aforementioned chaturmasya ritual. Anagrayanam. Agrayanam is done twice a year. Hemantaritau, Sharadaritau, Sharadaritau, Vasantaritau. Vasantaritau, Sharadaritau, in the spring and the autumn, this is done. When the new grains come. Because the new grains are not eaten without giving Bhagavan first, and to give Bhagavan there is this elaborate way of offering, sometimes cooked, sometimes uncooked, sometimes little bit cooked and uncooked, all these things. And then one more daily thing is there. What is that? Atithi Yajna. Atithi Yajna here is what is that called? Upalakshana is figurative for all the Pancha Mahayajnas. What are the Pancha Mahayajnas? The Atithi Yajna, one we have already counted. Deva Yajna, Rishi Yajna, then Bhuta Yajna, Pitru Yajna, all these. All these together, Atithi Yajna is also called Manushya Yajna. Either word can be used. So then that means the person is not doing just daily 2 offerings and baby Agnihotra. No. They are doing Panchamaha Yajnas. They are doing Darsha. They are doing Paurnamasa. Then they are doing Chaturmasya. Then they are doing Agrayana. Plus Atithi Yajna. Out of the Panchamaha Yajnas, Atithi Yajna is very, very important. Because if you forget to feed the crows and the dogs and the cats, they are not going to curse you. But the Atithi will say, what kind of a household is this? I did not get food. Therefore, the Atithi Yajna becomes very, very important. You want the Atithi to bless you, not say bad things about you. So then Atithi Yajna means you have to go in front of the gate. Look to the left. Is there anybody there? Not after your lunch, before your lunch. And then you have to look to the right. Is there anybody there? And then after that what? Then after that, yes, somebody will say, I am here. I am here. And so no matter, even the person is homeless, even the person is a beggar, is brought in ceremonially, his or her feet are washed, and then hands are washed, water is given to drink, and then they are fanned as they eat, food is given to them, and then you eat whatever is been kept for you, left over after Atithi has. Atithi should be kept on fed until the person says, Triptoham, Triptaham, I am full, please don't force me anymore, I am really full, they have to say once or twice, and then only you release them back into the road. Until then you keep them and keep feeding them. This is the idea. So then, if you say nobody is here, that means what? Atithi Yajna has not been done. So, Atithi Varjitam. Atithi Varjitam means what? So, the Atithi Varjitam without worshipping the guest. Atithi has two derivations, two vyutpattis. The simple one we know is Tithihi na vidyate yasya. Tithi means date. Right now we don't have any atithis. I'll come to your house day after tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Text message will come. Okay, so this is not an atithi. Atithi means the drop-in guest, which is now an extinct species. Nobody drops in. Why? Because nobody is at home. Grihastha means grihe tishtati, should remain at home. But the grihastha is everywhere but at home. So the atithis have also wisened up. The atithi will also come only after phone calling or sending message. So, but in the olden times it wasn't like that. Atithi would come. Drop-in guest. You are not allowed to ask how long are you going to stay. So tithihi na vidyate yasya. How do you know how long they are going to stay? You look at their suitcase and then decide. Small carry-on, okay, abba, only weekend visit. And then, and then big suitcase, that means what? Oh, has come for a while. You are not allowed to ask, when are you leaving? This is papa karma, you can't ask. Let's say it's neither a carry-on nor a big suitcase, somewhere in the middle. You keep guessing and scratching your head. And then you try to find out through indirect means, through asking the neighbors, through asking like, oh, too bad you are not staying for my daughter's wedding. When is your daughter's wedding? In June. Yeah, I'll stay. So, like this, you are not supposed to ask. This is all part of Atithi Puja. Atithi Varjitam means the one who has not done Atithi Puja. So the first derivation is what? Tithihi na vidyate yasya. And the other one is atati gacchati na tishtati iti atithi. Atati, first conjugation. So atati means is on the move. So this is a good teaching for the atithi herself or himself. Please be on the move. Don't call yourself an atithi and park yourself in somebody's house, and don't turn from being a guest to a pest. Okay, very, very small difference. Yeah. So 3 days if you stay, what are you? Guest. 3 months if you stay, what are you? Pest. Yeah, because you are disturbing everybody else. So not only for the sannyasis, for everybody else, atati gacchati iti atitihi. And so this atithi puja varjitam. So the one whose agnihotra is without all this. And then anagrayanam, we saw that, atithi varjitam. Then what? Ahutam. Ahutam means skipped a day, nahutam. Nanj Tatpurusha. Nahutam Ahutam means skip the day. But we can't take it like that. We have to take not done at the proper time. Overslept and offered at noon. Okay, just half an hour before lunch bell, quickly finished Agnihotra. No, that is Ahutam. Avidhina Hutam. Ahutam Nahutam. So, avidhina hutam, let us take that first. So, avidhina hutam, not according to the proper rules. Not in the proper time, ahutam, avidhina hutam, not done according to the proper rules of engagement into Agnihotra. And then Avaishvadevam, another rituals for group of 10 devatas called Vishve Devas. These Vishve Devas, they are the forces that control all the obstacles in our lives. These are the presiding deities of all the obstacles which prevent us from gaining what we want. And so therefore they have to be constantly propitiated, as in every day. So, Avaishva Devam, and then what else? So, yeah, thank God, that's the end. So, this is the string of things connected to Agnihotra. If it is skipped or if it is done improperly, what happens? Asaptaman, Asaptamaha, Asaptaman. So, Asaptamaha, Asaptaman, accusative, plural, Asaptaman. Ang is the upasarga. Ang is the, what is upasarga in English? Prefix. Prefix. Ang is the prefix. It has two meanings. Maryada abhividhau. Maryada means up to. Tena vina, up to what? Up to whatever is following the word, following the prefix ang. Asaptamaha means, it could mean up to the seventh, Maryada Vachanam, or Abhividhi in the sense of inclusion. Tena saha means along with the seven. Both the meanings are there. And this A is a very common pratyaya. We will see this in the Bhagavad Gita also. What is that? Abrahma bhuvanal lokaha punaravartinorjuna. Yeah. So, Abrahma bhuvanal lokat punaravartinaha. So, even up to and including Brahmaloka, all of them are what? They call for punarjanma, like that. So here it is includes tena saha, not tena vina. So up to and including the seven what? Lokan, which is qualifying asaptamaha, asaptaman lokan. Lokan, lokyate, asau. Loka means actual lokas here, not karma phala. Actual lokas. What are the seven lokas? What are they? Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. So, Tasya, so for that person, Tasya, Saptaman Lokan, Hinasti. Hinasti is sabotaged. Hims, seventh conjugation here. Hims has many avataras. Hims, first conjugation, himsati. Okay. Hims, seventh conjugation, hinasti. Hims, 10th conjugation, himsayati. So here which conjugation? Seventh conjugation. Asaptaman tasya lokaha hinasti. All the lokas up to and including the seven lokas are destroyed. Here all that fellow who was doing Agnihotra wanted simple Swarga, but all the seven are disbarred, including Bhuloka. Bhuloka is already where I already am. Even that is destroyed, means as good as destroyed. So, Hinasti Iva, Adi Shankara will say in the Bhashya, we will see that. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.